Hey, my friend, this is just just over a 5-minute quickie, and it's something that just might find the passion that you experienced in the past and allow you to find it in the future and find it in the right now. I think that's really important. Hope you do too. And just take this 5 minutes and find it. Hey, welcome to the Personal Development Unplugged podcast with me, Paul Clough. And this is an FMQ, a 5-minute quickie podcast, which never lasts 5 minutes. It always goes a little bit longer. But it's a chance for you and I just to muse, to think of a subject, to talk about it for a few minutes, and then spend time thinking, seeing how it would change our life if we maybe developed it a little deeper. And maybe sometimes these 5-minute quickies will go into a longer podcast where we can dive deeper and produce processes, hypnosis processes, NLP processes. Don't worry about the names. They're just processes for making our life and your life absolutely better. Getting rid of anxiety, fear, all those other hang-ups and issues that we have, and have the life we deserve and make dreams come into reality quicker, bigger, better than you could ever dream of. But they're the longer podcasts, and this is a 5-minute quickie where we break down the complicated into simple, because in simplicity there's genius, and that's what we do here. So if you want to just think for a little while, see what happens, see what resonates inside you, and when it does, you go change the world.
This is Personal Development Unplugged with Paul Clough.
In simplicity, there is genius.
In simplicity, there is genius.
Hey friend, we're back with just a quick 5-minute quickie, something to muse on again. I just wanted to share with you something that I've been talking about for quite some time, years actually. And I overheard it again being mentioned by Robert Greene, the author. And what I wanted to say is I remember when I was young lad, I used to be taken out on a Saturday to this particular town which had a market. And this is in England. We used to go to Bedford Market, just outside Cambridge. Mum and Dad would go to have a look around. There's things. But there was one place that I loved to go. Just one stall. And they sold Superman comics and Batman comics. You know, the DC stuff and all that stuff. And I loved it. I couldn't get enough of it. I loved to go shopping on that particular day. Just to go there. And you could swap. So I could buy something at one weekend. When you go back again, change it. And I lost myself in that stuff. And I got really interested in art, drawing. I used to make up my own Marvel type person, superhero. I remember one of them was called Clover Man, and he had this big clover planted on the front of his mask. And I loved that, and that got me thinking about, and what I talk about is when people don't know what they want to do with their life, they've lost interest in things and they're getting maybe a little bit bored. I often say to them, well, go through the things you've enjoyed when you were a young person. What type of things did you enjoy? And I want to ask you the same thing. What type of things did you enjoy doing? What things just made you lose yourself, as it were? Because I lost myself in those magazines. Can you imagine that? Just getting lost into a magazine. A little comic. It's just a comic. But it thrilled a young lad. It took him into different places into his head to imagine and be there. What did that for you? And I wanted to ask you, well, maybe you could just muse on that during the day. Good to write them down if you can. But if not, just muse on them. And because when you do that, you get that feeling, don't you? I did just now, thinking about going to that market stall. I had the excitement knowing that it was Saturday, because that's the day we went. And then I had the excitement of sitting in the car. It wasn't boring. It wasn't boring going there. It was exciting. And it wasn't boring coming back because I had those comics in my hand. And I could sit in the car and I wasn't going to read them because I wanted to wait till I got home. That was pure passion for me. So what created that for you? Because I'm sure there's more than one when you think about it. Because I went on to do I did my drawings, I did my thinkings, I did everything like that. So what was it for you? And here's what I want you to, you could muse on after that. It's just when you get that feeling and you're thinking, well, I'm not that young person anymore. You are, by the way. You're just an older, younger person, that's all. And you might want to say, well, I couldn't do that again. Couldn't you? Couldn't you do that very same thing again? But if you can't, literally can't, just ask your unconscious mind, and maybe think with your conscious mind, what would give me that feeling again right now, in this current time? What type of things would give me feeling again? I'll tell you what did it for me. When I did this a little while ago, and it was a fair few years ago, this was when the Mad magazine was still in publishing. And I'm in the UK. I subscribed to it and got it delivered every other month to the UK. And again, I went back. As soon as I opened the pages, I just went back. I know they're not DC Comics and things like that, but I just went back. Just wondering at the art. And since then, I found other places where I can find that type of art just to look at. And it just takes me back into that feeling. And now I'm thinking about how can I learn to do that? Not to do it as a job, because I don't want it as a job. I like this job of doing nothing or doing the things I enjoy without getting paid for it. Just doing them now. Here's the thing though. It takes you back. So what is it that will take you back into those feelings and give you those thrills again? And when you get one, here's the only thing I'd really ask you to do. Can you guess what it is? Go do it. That's it. Simple as that. Go do it and feel those feelings again. There you go. That's my just over 5-minute musing and something I wanted to share with you. We'll probably dive into this deeper because I've got more things around this particular topic of finding the things that create your passion. But hey, this could be the thing that does find that passion for you, that's inside, waiting to be lit up, as it were. So go light up your passion. Muse, and then do. Time to fly.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.